Hey y'all, let's do a reading, shall we? I really have a weird energy today, and no doubt if you clicked on this, you saw the thumbnail and you saw the title, but um it's it's kind I don't know, I'm just getting the vibe that not unlike my experiences lately, y'all are running into people that you haven't seen in a while, right? Which is no big risk in me saying around the holidays or around, but I don't know. There's just something about this spring that reconnects people with sort of unfinished business. So, if you've recently run into someone that you haven't seen in a while, that you felt there's still something to be figured out between the two of you, this reading is for you. And I was just going to do a standard reading, but now I'm going to do a pick a card because that's how things work. All right, so let's shuffle for that. We just need 2 cards from this deck. Using the Light Seers deck. It's an interesting situation, isn't it? Like sometimes we might keep up with people through social media, even if your social media is like LinkedIn. But like, I mean, it is for mine. I'm not throwing shade. It is in my life. And so, yes, like intellectually, we still keep in touch with this person. But when you come face to face, it just sort of sets off a whole new chain of events, doesn't it? Okay, we just need 2 cards. The universe only wants to give one answer. That's, what I say, when I'm talking about every reading being influenced by the reader as well as the time in which it's pulled, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. 2.5 minutes in and we're still shuffling. All right, nope, actually now we're good. Okay, I'm excited. We've got the 2 of Pentacles, which is perfect. And card number 1, card number 2. So how this works, if you're new here, is we're going to go ahead and do the choosing, but the universe is going to choose for you, or your soul, or however you want to see this. You're not actually going to choose. What you are going to do is choose between, hold on a second, let me think about this. I want to do colors instead. I'm a painter. Let's do colors. So I want you to choose between magenta or mustard yellow. What's your color? Magenta or mustard yellow? You should have decided by now. Definitely an instinctual thing. You're not supposed to think about it too much. But let's see. Heads will be magenta, tails will be yellow. That one got away from me. But it did land with heads up. So we're talking about magenta and yellow. Y'all ready? So this new connection that you have, based on an old acquaintance, this person that you met in person after a long absence. I mean, long is relative, but you know what I mean. If you're watching this, you know who the person is. All right, magenta. Oh, wow. Well, that is a fiery connection, my friends. Y'all, there's definitely unfinished business. And I think it's a lot easier than both of you think it is. Yeah, I think there's something. Now, this being said, I've got to tell you this too. If you're not feeling I just ran into somebody, for you, magenta people, I'm really getting that this could be you got reintroduced to someone who you kind of knew in a past life. Yeah, unfinished business in a past life. Maybe this person that reemerged in your life, you haven't met in person until now in this life. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this could be a brand new person to you in this life, or it could be somebody that you met as an acquaintance and then you met them like at a bar or at the gym or somewhere a little less formal, and something might have sparked. Maybe you met multiple people like this. It's happening out there. So I don't know. All right. Why is the star here for magenta folks? Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting how there's some magenta in this card. Got the Mother of Cups, Queen of Cups, for those of you unaware of this deck. We're going to do 3 card clarifiers, and for some reason, I've been laying them out different. I do not know why, ever since I got back from my little hiatus. Mother of Wands or Queen of Wands, Daughter of Cups or Page of Cups, Cat, and the Seven of Cups too. Yeah. What did I just say? Literally, what did I just say? I said for some of you, this could be new. For some of you, it could be multiple people that you're having this experience with. You might have, seriously, I'm getting not different people, but the same person who's watching. You might have somebody reemerging in your life who's always sort of been on the periphery. You might have someone that you haven't spoken to in years that suddenly reappears face to face. And you might have somebody who you haven't ever known in this lifetime, but you meet them and you instantly feel like you've met them before. You might have all of that happening at once. Don't get in your head about it and think you have to decide. There's none of that right now. Right now is just the connection making for you. It's just the reconnection making right now. So much of this is determined on their free will as well. Okay. So if you're in this weird swirling connection of all these different people coming forward and coming face to face, don't make any predetermined expectations. Okay. It's wonderful that this gets to happen, period. Okay. Because there's a lot of love and there's a lot of destiny involved. So don't pretend like you know anything. Also, too, like the people who could reconnect in your world, that might be it. That might be it. Maybe they just needed one more hug from you. And then the karma is solved. Okay. So you might never see them again. That's what I'm saying. But gosh, there's a lot of love here. Even if you don't end up with any of these people, even if you don't further the connection, there's a lot of love and care and genuine respect and admiration for you. Their feelings towards you help you anyway, even if like that's all you need, honestly. Like, yes, having a connection, having a person should be a sort of goal for a lot of us, but man, there's a lot of feeling that sort of propels you very favorably in this 3D world. Gosh, I can't believe I have the shuffle already. Do I? I do. Okay, there's something about moving on here. There's something about this energy that's a little bit wishy-washy. Let's see what it is. Huh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so for yellow people, mustard yellow to be exact. I'm getting a lot of the crows here and the bats. So, the King of Swords versus the crows and the bats. The King of Swords coming in with intention, with integrity, with communication, with ideas, and then this sort of other. Sometimes the King of Swords can sort of take off on their own whim, and they can be a little bit selfish and inconsiderate for you. How does that apply to these reconnections that you've made? Well, yellow people, I'm not really seeing. I already did the shuffle of the clarifier, so let's just see. On the bottom, we do have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, we have the Eight of Swords, High Priestess, and making it a full circle, the King of Swords. Full circles represent feedback loops for those of you who are new. I get a lot of them on this channel. This yellow, like it crosses over some. If you overthought it and you really are thinking that this should have been you and you should have picked magenta, that's fine. Maybe this is future influence then for you if you ended up with yellow. That's why I say, pick your gut instinct, your first instinct in terms of the colors. There's a little bit of crossover here because I think for some of you, this applies. But what is this? This person that you've come in contact with again is on a bit of a journey. The universe sees it as a spiritual journey. They see it as a career path, a entrepreneurial journey, a learning journey. They don't see it the way the universe sees it. And that's why they're a little bit stuck. That being said, you are one of the catalyst points for them coming right on this path. There's not a lot of lovey-dovey here. There's not a lot of intimacy. There's not a lot of, other than a spiritual intimacy, there's not a lot of romance. But what it is getting someone, without intentionally doing so, you're getting someone on the path that they need to be on versus the path they think they are on. It's a bit selfish. It's a bit one-sided. Communication with this person probably hasn't been great. Or if it has been, it's been focused on them primarily and their goals. So it might be hard sometimes. But if you want to be in it for the greater good and for both of y'all's benefit, go with the flow with this person. If they need a cheerleader, you can be their cheerleader. If they need someone to put them sort of right on the path, maybe you need to be that person too. You're the high priestess in this situation. You're the one showing them where the universe wants to take them versus where they've been programmed to, or where they've been somewhat self-centeredly designed to move forward. Because they really are at a crisis point and they are having doubts in where they're going. But it's not where they're going that's the problem. It's the reason why they're on that journey. They think it's for one reason. It's actually for another reason. And your existence and your connection and reconnection with them helps them get on the journey for the right reasons. Okay? Does that make sense? I know it sounds a little convoluted, but for some of you magenta people, one or two of those multiple people that could exist in your life right now, reconnecting with them, they could be this person. They could be in this situation. So there's definitely some crossover. And God help you if you have multiple people like this in this situation. What are you, running a cult or something? All right, let's pull one or two sort of, what's the crossing energy here? Let's pull 3 cards and a bottom card just for giggles. I really have no idea why I started doing clarifiers like that. It's real weird. These are both very noble places to be, and regardless of what color you picked, you have an important place for the connection with these people. You're a catalyst. And I mean, to a certain extent, we are in everyone's life that we come in contact with. But this is particularly so. Don't get disheartened ever. Don't get disheartened ever. And don't make any choices. Don't be buying Bride magazine, okay? Not yet. Not in April, not in May. Wait until June. June will have some good energy. June we might have some commitments going. Just wait a month, okay? Okay. All right, bottom card, 5 of Pentacles. What did I just say? Don't get into your head too much about it. Don't make any assumptions. I mean, that's the thing, is we see the locked door and we become despondent, distressed. There's a key right there. You know, if we looked up and looked around and looked at the opportunities and looked at the potential that the potentiality of our influence in life, I think we'd work a lot harder. Okay, got the 7 of Swords, got the Magician, and we got the Page of Cups. Yeah, these new connections. There are. Hold on. Be careful with my words. Be careful with the new connections. The ones where you're just meeting this person and you feel like you've known them for a long time, or you immediately start jiving really well. There is just a little bit of manipulation in the energy. And I would warn you just to be open to the idea. You can accept the person for whoever they are, but just be open to the idea that this person's intentions might not be what they're putting across to you. Whoever you're with, I would say for everyone that you know, honestly, but especially for these new connections, take everything they say kind of with a grain of salt. And their outward facing persona, the way that they present themselves might seem self-centered or a little bit manipulative in the way that they try to get what they want. That's not necessarily their soul's language. And I would just tell you, it's not their soul's language, but it's not necessarily how they want to present themselves. So with all of your connections, just take everything with grace, but also be willing to accept the idea that they could potentially hurt you. Period. Like, get involved in things and with someone, even though that could happen. Because just like the reading I just did on May, you got to take the really big risks to get the reward. The people that we love the most in the entire world are going to hurt us the most, even if it's just by them dying and us losing them. So yeah, there might be a little bit of a sleight of hand, unintentional manipulation, or focus that isn't where you would have it. But sometimes we do get hurt a little bit. That is your reading. I love this for both of you. I think there is quite a bit of crossover at play here. The universe just wanted to get real specific about one type of person for you yellow, mustard yellow folks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. And like this video if you did like it. If you've made it this far, like it. And remember that not one single reading in the whole history of readings has ever come out of a vacuum or from the universe directly. They're all influenced by the reader as well as the time in which they're pulled. So show everybody some grace, including your tarot reader. Thanks, y'all.